How disgusting! It is very important to communicate with the horses also with the physical contact of the tongue. Let's talk about the Rein Back with the young horse. This is a 4 years old, recently tamed horse, and we have recently introduced the Rein Back. I set him on the track, a little touch of a whip, I move him forward, I stroke him with a whip, and I make a request with a voice. Dietro means go back. I vibrate slightly with my fingers. The horse does not respond, and so I reinforce the whip stimulus. Okay, and release. Very good. Therefore, voice as a first request, hands vibration a second, and reinforcement of a whip if necessary. Go back. Dietro, go back. I touch with the whip. And release. And caress. Now we do the same thing with the rider, who will only have to worry about the seat. Slightly advance the torso, move the center of gravity forward, and pull the imaginary reins coming out of the belt buckle. The rider will start the request, and I will eventually reinforce the action. I reinforce with the whip. Perfect. I release. Okay, and caress. Again, we go. Yes, hold. Now, the rider will request for first. This is what I was looking for. In doing so, the horse begins to understand that that kind of sit and tone of voice means go back. It is always necessary the presence of a person on the ground helping the rider, otherwise the rider will be forced to use his hands too much and the horse will associate this exercise with a state of anxiety. Also seeing the work with the young horse, I wanted to have the voice a little bit more set, but maybe it's better to come back to me. Okay, now we are going to see why the Rein Back is important, and we do it with an already trained adult horse. Rein Back is used to lower the hips and consequently raise the nape. They are used to knit, which means that the horse must use his abdominals to bring the hind legs under the mass. In doing so, he will raise his back. In this way. The Rein Back is very useful for horses hard in the mouth and develop the muscles that will be necessary for the collection. As it happens in all the equestrian exercises, the first necessary aid is always the sit. What should the rider do then? He has to move his center of gravity forward, moving slightly forward with his torso. He must move his legs back so that the horse goes straight with the hips and must suck his abdominal, pulling the imaginary reins tied to the belt. When the horse starts to move back, you have to walk with your buttocks with him, and in the meantime pull first the imaginary left rein and then the right one, respecting the mechanics of the movement. If the sit is not enough to make the horse understand, will be the hands with the fists slightly closed to intervene with a slight vibration. The hands must resist the forward movement but must not pull the reins. Moreover, through the vibration, they stimulate the chewing and the decontraction of the horse's back. If the horse, in spite of everything, does not react, we can use a light pressure of the thighs to stimulate his reaction. As soon as the horse has understood, we will have to completely relax our legs. I first make a small vault to draw the attention of the horse. rein back must be slow. I do the halt, I concentrate and think to go back with my seat. The horse must chew. You probably saw a little of what I did in this video. Now I will exaggerate a little to make everything clearer. Tronco forward, the horse harnessed, so I can stop the end actions and start walking back with my buttocks. I can also take care of the riding figures, the circles, the eight. I can change the direction. When I want the horse to do halt, I just have to bring my torso back and stop pulling the imaginary reins tied to the belt. I show you more clearly. Now I will make a transition, rein back into walk. Transition from rein back into trot or canter can also be performed.
Nessuna trazione con le mani e passo.
Now we see the work on the rein back with Blizzard. He's a Dutch, he is a Dutch horse, previously trained with the modern dressage method, that is the most used, but that hopefully slowly goes into decline. I'm working hard for this to happen. He is used to strong hands pulling him back. So, when I start to ask the rein back, his reaction is to raise his head and stiffen his jaw. For example, I ask to step forward and then the rein back. Did you see the first reaction? Is to raise his head. The horse is visibly tense. If I wanted to make it move backwards more neatly, I would have to use my hands a lot. Here, however, I explain to the horse how to go back without stiffening and without raising his head. Then I ask the rein back, as I explained to you. If the horse raises his head, I raise my hands, I vibrate with my hands and rein back, and I continue until I feel that the horse relaxes his back. Before asking again, I bend the horse to the left and then I bend to the right. In this particular case of re-education, I do not care if the horse closes too much the angle of the head passing behind the vertical. I stop the request only when I feel the horse lower the nape, chew, and I have the feeling of being pushed up by his back. He is still tense. Contact, light contact, and I start to vibrate with my hands.
dato contro, io continuo, non
I
smetto
continue
se va contro,
the
non
request.
come- oh,
Okay, very good.
bravo, bravo, dietro, alleggerisco, là,
And release.
molto bene. Ora
He
mi-
raises
ora mi
again
ha alzato la
his
testa,
head,
comincio a
so
fare i passi in
another
là.
walk
Lui deve
in Rein
capire
Back.
che in questa condizione buona lascio. Perfetto. Passo e riprovo.
Hold.
Vibro,
I vibrate.
largo, una leggera flessione, una-
I
appena
bend a
arrivato,
little
flessione a
bit the
sinistra.
horse on left.
Ora,
Again.
piano, niente, ancora. Flessione a sinistra, flessione a destra,
I
leggera.
wait him to
Ora,
be
piano
calm.
piano, vibro con le mani. Vedete la prima reazione qual è?
The first
Questa?
reaction is always to raise
Però
the,
da subito
the head,
comincia, eccolo, a essere più
but the
collaborativo.
horse is starting to be more cooperative. Very good.
Continuo,
And
continuo.
release.
Oh, adesso sì.
Perfect.
Adesso
And he
è
stopped
tutto,
very
sembra
relaxed.
molto rilassato. Bravo,
This is my way
questo è il modo
to re-educate a horse that is afraid about the rein back. I have to stop my action when I feel that the front is lowering, relaxing, that the back is relaxing, and that the hindquarters are engaged under the mass. If we, for fear of making trouble, stop the request when the horse is in a moment of tension and fear because he does not know what is happening, it is normal that we will never solve this problem. It's the same thing that happens to us human beings.